In a world that can be so hopeless at times, sometimes we need a hero. This hero can come in many ways, shapes, and forms, and doesn't even have to be real to be effective. In America, the superhero stands out above all of the rest of the heroes, with powers and abilities beyond our imaginations. Of all the superheroes ever created, one stands out from all the rest. The longtime superhero Superman is the most well-known and loved superhero of all time. I have grown up reading about Superman and watching him on TV, so I'm honored for this opportunity to speak about him today. The obstacles that Superman overcame growing up, the actions he takes with his superpowers, and his high moral caliber are the three most important reasons for him being such an icon today. Superman overcame a great number of obstacles growing up on his way to being a superhero. For those who don't know, Superman is actually from another planet called Krypton. He crash-landed in a town called Smallville after his home planet was destroyed when he was just a baby, and he was found by Jonathan and Martha Kent, who raised him as their own son, naming him Clark Kent. Superman is the ultimate story of adoption. He never knew his real parents and didn't know that he was not a human until he was an adolescent. After he found out, he had to deal with the fact that he would never know his real parents. He also had to grow up knowing that he was different from those around him, with powers and abilities far beyond the normal human. Although he grew up to be completely in control of his powers, this was a very hard thing for him to do growing up. As he grew and developed, he only became stronger and discovered more powers each time, having to hone his strength in order to conceal the truth about himself. Superman had to deal with all of these things growing up, but he never once backed down or showed any sign of weakness, and always had a strong path to justice. After growing up, Superman began to do great things with his powers. The things that Superman does with his powers are probably the most exciting part of his story. Most men who had powers such as Superman would use them in some way, probably to hurt others or maybe to make money. But this is not the case with Superman. He uses his powers in service to the world, always fighting for the greater good. No task is too big or small for him, whether saving a cat from a tree or maybe saving the entire world from an alien invasion, he will always answer the call for help. Not only that, but Superman will even sacrifice his own personal life to help others, regardless of the commitment that Clark Kent has. Superman will always answer when called. His actions are great, but the morals he holds on to are even greater. Superman has an unshakable moral caliber that is incorruptible. His number one rule is that he will never kill anyone on his path to justice. No matter what the circumstances present, he has always found a way to save the day without ending the life of another. This is his ultimate weapon because it creates a sense of trust that holds with the people around the world. Everyone knows that Superman will only use his powers for good and not evil because of this one thing. It also makes him a person that anybody can look up to. If Superman can follow this rule even when it seems impossible, maybe we as people can follow the rules even when cheating seems like the easy way out. In conclusion, Superman is obviously a very great man. He overcame a tough childhood and grew up to be a superhero that uses his power for good, not evil, and he never loses touch with the morals that he lived by. He is the most well-known and loved superhero of all time and will probably never be forgotten. He gives us hope even when the world seems hopeless, and the world would only improve if we as people followed his example.